Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. My name is Steven and this is the Storytime channel. Without wasting any more time, let's get into our stories of the day. Our first story of the day is by Loken89. Karen and Co. want to pet my service dog. This happened yesterday, and while, as usual, many will call me an a-hole, I still don't feel bad about it. I'm on my way home from work and decide that I need to do my grocery shopping then because I'm exhausted and know I won't get out again once I get home. Important to note at this point for those that don't know, I have a service dog in training, Sadie, that goes everywhere with me. So I was in the membership version of America's most popular store and browsing to see what groceries I'd need for the month when I hear the familiar high-pitched squeal of the increasingly common cat banshee. Now, this isn't an uncommon occurrence, as anyone seeing my dog will tell you that she's absolutely adorable. Half-Great Pyrenees, half-Catahoula leopard dog, 7 months old and 65-ish pounds. She knows better than to interact with people at this point, but she does do as she's trained, and she sees the kid running up and puts herself between myself and the kid. Not really in a guard stance, but sideways between myself and the kid, and touching the back of my legs so I know where the person is approaching from. In this case, I already knew, but I still turned around and gave her a treat. She's still learning after all. Told her to heel. She does as she's told and the kid slows and comes to a stop now that I'm between him and Sadie. EM is entitled Mom, C is sentient C stain, aka Kid. The kid says, "Your dog is so cute, I want to pet it." I'm sorry, but see the vest with the patches she's wearing? It says service dog, do not touch. That means she's working right now and can't be distracted. I don't really like kids much beyond my niece and nephew, so I'm not good with at telling ages and didn't know if he could read. I figured he knew how to obey signs though, so I thought if I told him what it said, he'd understand. Nope, but he still hasn't earned his nickname quite yet. What's a service dog? She doesn't look busy, just one pet? He's not being rude, just sounds more curious than anything, so I don't really mind explaining. And I notice a woman push her cart up behind him, so I assume she's his mom and I feel a bit more relaxed about the situation. A service dog is a dog that helps people do things. There are all types of jobs dogs can do, but they can't be distracted because their owners need them to pay attention to only them in case something happens. Kid says, "But she's just sitting there right now. If she's not gonna get back to work, you should let me pet her." Now at this point, I guess I should have noticed the "if she's not gonna get back to work" red flag and guessed he was being raised by a Karen. But honestly, I've really only dealt with a few Karens in my life and didn't think much of it, just that he was a kid being annoying. Me to his mom. "Ma'am, could you please explain it to him? I don't have kids, so I'm not too good at this." I was admittedly probably sounding annoyed in all honesty, but I was still trying to be polite and I don't think I was being unreasonable here, but she seemed to take offense. "Why? He just wants to pet her. It's not a big deal, and he's been acting really good today and he deserves a treat. I don't see why you won't let him pet her." Me, definitely annoyed now. "Ma'am, she's a working dog. She shouldn't be distracted. I don't mean to be rude, but you're also not wearing masks and COVID has been known to spread to dogs as well. I'd really prefer no one mess with her." We're in Texas and I'm sure everyone has heard how poorly the state is handling the pandemic, but the majority of people still refuse to wear masks, and of all the shops I've been to, only one store has a no mask, no entry rule. Shout out to Skechers, thanks for being proactive. "Oh, you're one of those people." Insert eye roll. "Just let him pet this stupid dog so we can move on. The stupid virus is over with. Everything is open now." I think we're done here, and I just turn and walk off, keeping Sadie in my sight just in case. It should have ended there. She should have just told her kid I was an a-hole or something and moved on, but if she did, I wouldn't be posting this. Instead, she leaves her cart behind, walks up behind me and grabs my shoulder. It's at this point I should mention that I have Sadie because of my PTSD. Now usually it's controllable. I'm on meds to help with anxiety and I'm in therapy and don't usually have a problem. Heck, I even love music festivals and raves and have only had a problem one time when I was trying to leave EDC early and got stopped at the gate because they were about to set off fireworks, and something about the bangs and being close enough to feel the vibrations of that many fireworks got to me. I guess with the quarantine being so recent and not having to worry about people randomly grabbing me and touching me and stuff, I mean, heck, even someone rolling absolute balls at a rave usually asks before they hug you or something. I'd kinda let my guard down a bit. This set me off though. And without even thinking, I grabbed her hand and spun around, twisting her arm and pushed as hard as I could, sending her sprawling to the ground. "What the heck is wrong with you?" I yelled. And I said some other stuff, but I was mad and honestly don't remember what I said. Something about no means no, and I don't want her nasty butt hands on me. At this point, Sadie had gotten between us and her stance and had begun to bark loudly and repetitively, as she's been trained so she can get someone's attention. I noticed that Sadie was off her darn leash because somehow Kid had gotten in front of my cart and unhooked it. Luckily, Sadie is the best girl and doesn't need a leash to do her job. She never even thought about running and just stood in front of me barking. Kid was crying after seeing what happened to his mom and getting scared that the cute puppy was now looking pretty darn mean. No, Sadie wouldn't hurt a fly, but this woman didn't know that, and Sadie has a very intimidating bark. Without even standing up, this woman was scrambling to get back from me and grabs at her cart to stand up. Of course, employees start running to see what's going on, and when one gets there, she asks what's going on. "This man's dog tried to attack me. I was just trying to get his attention and it bit me." No, I've browsed this sub enough to know where this was headed, and I wasn't in the mood. Look, just call the cops and grab the camera footage. I'm not gonna play the he said she said game. The employee calls for the manager, who calls the cops and asks us to come to the front office to get things sorted out. We start to head towards the front office, but once there, entitled mother says she doesn't have time for this and has places to be and just walks out of the store. No one tries to stop her, but the manager looks at the footage and prints off her face to put on the banned people wall. And when the cops arrive, they say there's nothing they can do since she already left. I got an employee discount for my food, which was nice, but left in a pretty bad mood because of the interaction. After getting home, I gave Sadie a small slab of steak for being such a good girl, and I just took a shower and went to bed. Didn't get anything done that I needed to, but it had been a long day and I was extra annoyed. So that's it. Sadly, no real repercussions for Karen other than maybe a bruise or two where she hit the tiles and a traumatized kid, but if this sub is any indication, Karens don't learn from stuff like that. Here's hoping the kid learned a thing or two at least. And because this is Reddit and I know it'll be asked if I don't include, here's a picture of Sadie. So obviously I feel bad for OP in this situation because while there might be a lack of awareness on service animals and how important it is to not mess with them, people like Karen and the kids, they just won't understand, they won't agree with it, they won't think that it's the right thing to do. All they see is a cute animal and they want to be able to pet it regardless. And good on OP for standing their ground and using a technique that is very well documented in subs like these. If you're ever in an altercation and you know you are in the right, just ask to be taken to security, to the manager, whatnot, have them call the cops, and if there's security footage, look at the security footage. Hopefully you shouldn't go wrong in that situation. Let me know if you think this is the way to handle it or not and why in the comment section down below. Our next story is by sweet-baggette. Entitled mother tried to yell at me because she crashed her nice car into my old car. This is before quarantine. So I'm 15 and I have a driver's permit, and my friend, 18, has her driver's license, so she was in the passenger seat. So basically, I was just driving to a Jack in the Box or Tim Hortons, whichever one was closer, and we stopped at a red light, and as it changed to green, I went, and this lady rams into my side door in the back, and thankfully none of us were harmed. Anyway, we quickly got out of there as we grabbed our wallets, phones, the important stuff afterwards. Anyway, I started to panic as I'm crying at this point, and this is where entitled mother pops in. "What the freak did you just do to my perfect car?" I couldn't speak as my friend stepped in. "You ran a red light, dumb butt." "Were you driving?" "No, but I saw everything." "It was you driving." Looking at me. I managed to nod as she said, "You are too young to drive." She laughed silently as she thought she was going to throw one minor and a new adult in jail and get money from it. Basically, entitled mother crossed her arms and waited for the police as we traded insurance cards. The police come and assess the situation as they question entitled mother first. "Those two are drunk driving and almost killed me and my baby boy." She had what seems to be an 8-year-old, which seemed fine as the police talked to him as people checked all of us for any damage.
My baby boy is scared and this just ruined life for him.
The police just nodded and went to us. I was still crying. This seems like I'm a baby, but I have autism, which makes me scared of confrontation and yelling and most definitely anything bad. And so basically the police questioned us as we explained the situation and showed them our driver's license and IDs. The police were extremely nice to me as I had a card explaining my autism and they just generally helped me calm down. Anyway, the police saw cameras for a store outside, which caught everything as they checked the traffic cameras and the store cameras. Entitled Mother smirked like a demon as she thought she would get away with this, and the police came back saying they watched the footage as the color drained out of her face as she kept changing her story to get out of the situation. As she said,
"My boy needs to go to football practice. If he's late, he will be kicked off the team and it's gonna be your fault."
While yelling at the officer, and then 10 seconds later she said,
"My mom's in the hospital and I need to see her before she dies."
And then,
"My baby boy needs to go to the doctor for shots,"
etc. So basically, in the end, she was in a police cruiser and I was taken to Tim Hortons in an Uber with my friend and back to home. I did press charges as there were so many witnesses, and in court, she broke down saying,
"I need to feed my kids,"
while she had like Gucci and Louis Vuitton. I was able to fix my car and I never ran into her again. How despicable can you be? To obviously be at fault and then complain that they wrecked your car when you ran the red light and hit them, and then start making all these BS excuses like, "Oh, my kid needs shots, oh, they need to go to the football practice, my mom's dying in the hospital." Some of that might even be true, and it's not okay to use that as an attempt to emotionally manipulate the situation. So honestly, I'm glad OP pressed charges and got to be able to fix their car, and the situation seemed to resolve itself as fittingly as possible. Our next story is by RagingTails. Entitled Mother who forgot mask and car is upset my business occupies where a Subway used to be and we don't have the same items as Subway. In December, my business partner and I opened our first cafe. Coffee, drinks, pastries, sandwiches, that kind of thing. We are in a space that was a Subway previously. The current requirement in our state is all customers have to be wearing a mask until they sit down to eat. This interaction just happened a few days ago. Entitled Mother and Entitled Child walk into cafe, both not wearing masks. My employee says, "I'm sorry ma'am, you have to wear a mask while in the establishment."
I forgot it in my car. We just want takeout anyway." "Wait, excuse me, this isn't Subway? What happened to the Subway?"
OP says, "The Subway closed over a year ago. We've been here for 4 months. Ma'am, you need to wear a mask."
"Subway doesn't go out of business. Did you pay more and get them kicked out?"
"No, I'm sure they just moved locations or something. You have to wear a mask in here." Entitled Child realizes this isn't Subway and starts throwing a tantrum. "No, Mom, I want Subway."
"Well, do you make sandwiches?"
"No, Mom, I want Subway." "We do make sandwiches and we would be happy to make you one, but you have to wear a mask in here, ma'am. Please either go get your mask or leave."
"Well, what kind of sandwiches do you make? Are they like Subway?"
"No, they are not. They are bistro-style paninis. I'm not going to ask again. Please go put on a mask or leave."
"My child needs to eat. We don't want paninis. Where is there a Subway?"
"I'm not sure. You can Google it. Now please leave."
"How dare you? That was rude. I want to speak to whoever is in charge."
"I'm the owner. Now please leave."
"I'm gonna leave a terrible review for this place. You have terrible customer service."
Entitled Mother and Entitled Child leaves. This lady was incredibly entitled. And honestly, it sounds like their kid is on a fast path to becoming entitled too. I kind of feel like the online review system has become one part genuinely helpful, one part a plague on the service industry. Do you guys kind of feel that way too? Anybody who's at least slightly upset can throw a, "Well, I'm gonna leave a bad review for you." And the only place it really hurts is small businesses like I assume OP's is. Some general Subway on a corner somewhere isn't going to care about a bad review, but a small business cafe like OP's is, where they're not going to just get brand name awareness generic business, might get a little bit hurt from that. And our final story of the day is by MUHNAMEISADDY. My entitled mom got angry at my sister for eating noodles. I cannot stress the title of this post enough. My mom is entitled to her word. She thinks everyone should follow what she says. In this case, she wanted us to eat cereal, but the rest of us, dad, me, and sister, wanted to eat noodles, so we did. Big mistake on our part. Our mom got furious at my sister because we ate it yesterday. True. Then she started verbally attacking her, and my sister got sadder and sadder by the time she got to our room. Then she started crying because she thought everyone hated her. I feel like we can understand this because all she did was make noodles. Fast forward 2 hours and my mom is again verbally attacking my sister even though my dad is trying to stop her. Again, my sister is crying, so dad shuts the door on mom. Mom is shouting at my sister that if she behaves this way and doesn't follow her orders, she will not marry anyone and be left to rot on the streets because she is not eating lunch, even though we ate noodles just 2 hours earlier as our lunch. My father is currently consoling my sister, and I'm angry at my mom for making my sister feel like wanting to die on the spot. This mom sounds so over the top. I feel so bad for OP and their sister. And their dad obviously cares. It's such an unfortunate dynamic to deal with when their mom is acting so crazy because you can't have noodles 2 days in a row to the point where she's abusing her daughter verbally. I'm not even sure how they can really effectively deal with this. Maybe it's something the dad can help with, I don't know, but all in all, I just hope the situation does get better for them somehow. But with that being said, that's all the stories we have for today. If you had a favorite of all these stories that I read, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you could, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing if you haven't. They're both such an invaluable way to help out the channel, and doing any of those means a lot to me. So whether you liked, commented, subscribed, or just merely watched the video, thank you all so much for giving a part of your day to the Storytime channel. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.